What is up, YouTube? How's everyone doing today? This is Everything is Tech here from socialwallpapers.net and everythingistech.com. And in this video, I have the review of the Canon 50mm prime lens kit. Before we move on to the rest of the video, I just want to say I'll be discussing how the lens overall is created, how the quality of images come out. I'll even share some of my photos I taken with these lenses. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. So just a really quick background about me and how I've been using these lenses. I got my first DSLR camera about 8 months ago. It is a Canon T3, and I picked that up for about $650. And I still am an amateur, but I am getting better, in my opinion, for my photography. And honestly, these lenses definitely do add to the quality of images. I'm really happy I got these lenses. So as far as the overall construction of the lens kit goes, I'm really satisfied with how this is constructed. I have no problems with it as far as the construction goes, because this is really lightweight, it's really portable, and I think this is really nicely made. It does not feel that cheaply made when you do hold it, and honestly it really matters on how the lens performs rather than how it looks and feels. But besides that, I think the lens is fantastically made. I have no problems with the lens as far as the construction goes. And as I mentioned, this is so lightweight that you can just put this in your bag and you will not feel it at all. So before we do move on to the picture results, I just want to show you around on the lens. If you go and take a look at the picture, that shows the red dot. That really pretty much connects with your DSLR camera's white dot, or depending on whatever type of square or figure is on in the inner part of your DSLR. You pretty much just match this red dot with that white dot or whatever figure that is, and just give it a slight turn to the right or left depending on how your camera is constructed, and that will pretty much lock in the lens, and that will indicate that your lens is ready to start shooting photos. Right on top of the red dot is the focus modes. If you go with the AF mode, that is the autofocus mode, and if you go with the manual focus, then you can just turn the front tier of the lens to manually focus. So now that you know how the lens is constructed, let's go and take a look at some of the photos I've taken with the 50mm lens kit. Now the great thing with these lenses is that this has a really wide aperture, and with wide apertures you can have some really nice photos that actually have a background blurred. And in this photo you see right now, this is the kind of bokeh effect that everyone likes on the nifty-fifty, which is another word for the 50mm prime lens kit. So as you can see, my whole computer is background, as the background is all blurred out, and then the subject is focused on. And that's the best thing about these prime lens kits, is that they're nice aperture, and their wide aperture actually does blur out the background and provides you a really nice image. So if you do plan to take pictures of people outdoors or indoors, this will be a fantastic lens for that because of its wide angle, and it'll also be good for outdoors, indoors, and low light situations. In addition, a really good thing about this lens kit is that it takes some fantastic photos in low light conditions, and overall, the final product of the image comes out really sharp and clear and has some really nice contrast. The photo you see right now is a really good example of how this lens performs in low light conditions. I think this photo was taken around the 7 p.m. mark, and honestly it came out really fantastic. The image is really clear and sharp, and I really didn't edit this photo too much. I think I just changed the color a little bit, and besides that, everything else is pretty much the same as I captured it. And frankly speaking, I definitely think the lens does a fantastic job of taking photos in low light conditions, and how sharp and just clear the images come out really add to the features of the lens. The 50mm prime lens also does a fantastic job in capturing action shots, and this is just one of these sample images I've taken. As far as action shots goes, I've taken a lot better ones, but I don't want to show them for private reasons. But just in general, this is to show how well the lens can take action shots. But you also have to keep in mind with the settings. If you have the right settings and you have the right atmosphere, you'll definitely take some awesome action shots with this lens. For all those people who want to see more photos, just wait a little bit more towards the end of the video while I have a huge slideshow of the photos I've taken with the lens. But now I want to go ahead and talk about the video and how well this lens does in video capturing. Now, of course, the quality will determine on how your camera is and what features it has, but as far as the focal length goes, this will pretty much remain the same for all cameras. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. This video is taken in 720p at 30 frames per second from a Canon T3 Rebel. As far as the lens go, I'm really satisfied with the lens. I think it's definitely worth the money, and there is a reason why people call this the nifty-fifty, and the reason is because it's so cheap, but it also is a fantastic lens kit, so it gets the job done. If you're thinking of buying this lens, it's definitely a great bargain for your money. And if you do want to go ahead and pick one of these up, you can go ahead and follow down the link below in the box, in the description box. You can also nab yourself a small discount from Amazon.com. Now, if you are thinking of buying this lens as your secondary lens kit or even your third, or just to add to your collection, this is definitely worth the money. It takes some fantastic bouquet shots of people indoors and outdoors and in low light conditions. This performs fantastically. Even when you're trying to take photos of a subject, it does a fantastic job. The one thing that I don't like too much about this is that you have to stand about 1.5 feet away from your subject if you are trying to take a photo of it, or else the camera just will not focus if you're trying to autofocus. If you do try to manual focus that subject, it will come out a little bit blurry. So that's why I wouldn't advise anyone to use this lens as a macro lens, because it will not get the job done. But for anything else, as capturing images of nature or people, this definitely gets a job done, and it is definitely a valuable lens for its money. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been Everything is Tech from everythingistech.com and socialwallpapers.net. And after this part, I will have the video slideshow of all the photos I've taken, or some of the photos I've taken. So I hope you guys do enjoy that, and I will see you guys in another day. Peace out.